Hello, right, I think I'm okay now. It did start a bit funny there for me, so I'm hoping I'm not going to be having any technical difficulties, but welcome if you are here already. I can see there's a few people in the room. Hi Lynn, I can see all your chats as well, so come on over and say hi. So I'm at my main desk now, so I do have to lean over. Actually, I have a wireless mouse, I'll just bring that to me, that might be easier. Okay, so hi Lynn. Yes, don't worry, you're not late. I'm late today. So today we're going to be working on Nitwit collections, and if you don't know about them, they print out at home in any size, as many times as you like. And I absolutely love Nitwit collections, I really do. So these are some of the albums that I've made already, and today we're going to be making a paper bag album. So it's going to be a folio style. It's going to close with some doors on there too. So I'm hoping that the connection is going to be okay. Let's have a look at the stream health. Yep, everything seems to be okay. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're all good. So as I said before, here are some of the albums and projects that I've made from Nitwit collections already, and each of these all have a tutorial on my channel. I think they're all going to be under a playlist called Nitwit Collections, and I've printed these all out myself and used them as papers and as toppers. So this one is a beautiful album. I can't remember the collection names for all of these, but all of the videos are on my channel. This one's a lovely one because it's got loads of pockets and magnet closures. So I'm just going to quickly run through these while we get people to join, or wait for people to join into the live feed, and then we can get started on the tutorial for today's project, which is going to be a paper bag album. So Nitwit collections, so you can print off everything that you want. I mean, these are all printables, and I've been using these now for at least 2 years, I think, and throughout my journey using these digital elements, I have printed them off on various different types of cardstock. So there is going to be another video on my favourite cardstocks to use and papers. So these are papers, and today I've printed them onto some cardstock. So that is one of the albums. Now this one here, these ones are envelope albums. So let's have a quick look at the comments. Hi Diana, I'm hoping my sound's okay. Can everyone hear me okay? Hi Diane. Oh, there's two Dianes. Oh, there's Diana and there's Diana. These names are very recognisable to me. There's Mary Jones as well, and Jerry as well. Hello everyone. So some of these names are really familiar, and you know, I recognise some of these from comments on my previous videos too, so that's really nice to have you guys here. So this one was made using 8x8 envelopes, and again there's tutorials on my channel for these. So this one is a baby girl theme, and we have a baby boy theme as well. So we've got pink and the blue, and there's also a yellow one, I believe, as well, so it's quite like neutral. So there's no tuck points here, but you can pop a photo underneath there. There we go. So I really enjoyed making this one. So this one was super easy to put together as well. So you get all of these lovely elements, so many elements, and you can print them off in any size as well. So this one is I think this one's called Farmhouse Collection. Now this one is in an offer they have on their website at the moment. I think it's 25% off. There's 3 collections, and I've used photo paper for this one. As you can see, it has a sort of a sheen to it. So that one's a glossy photo paper. I love this one, and I might just remake this one on ordinary cardstock because this one's quite glossy, but I think I might just remake this one and make it slightly different. So that is that one. And then this one here, this is another paper bag. This one's quite popular on my channel. This is another paper bag mini album, and it's got all the pockets and everything. I haven't finished it off completely yet, as you can see. So loads of pockets in there, and these all come out as well. You just look at the quality of these. They're absolutely lovely, and I just love this colour combination as well. And here we have a tiny little luggage here. I've taken off the front because I want to redo that, but these are all my tiny little elements here. Just love that. So I think this one's called Journey, I think. But again, you'll find them on my Nitwit Collections playlist, and you'll be able to, all the information and the links for all of these collections are going to be on in the YouTube description box for each video. So I may just, I am going to write up a blog post for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add every single video onto that blog post, as well as today's video as well. So and this one's a tiny little mini album here. I think I may just have a few connection problems for this video, so if I do disappear, I will do my best to reconnect to the same video. If I have to create a new live stream, I will do that as well, and I'll put in the community tab message section that I've started again, but hopefully you will be able to find me. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to jump straight into the tutorial now. So the paper collection that I'm going to be using, I did a poll yesterday on my YouTube channel, and a lot of you voted. I think I had about 107 votes, and the paper bag mini album won that one. In the early hours of the poll, it was almost neck and neck for a good few hours with using one of my mini album dies and the paper bag album, but then in the evening it just shot up with the paper bag mini album, so we're going to be doing that. And then I also had a lot of comments on using the Paris theme, so I'm going to mix those two together, and then in one of my next future lives I'll be doing the mini album using my mini album dies as well. Okay, so we're going to be using the Paris collection. So I have some photos here of the collection. It will be easier for you to see that. So here Okay, so let's have a quick look on what we're going to be working with today. And I also just need to go over back to the comments again because I've moved screens. Here we go. I'm hoping everyone's still there. So just looking at the comments again, there's another Diane. There's lots of Dianes today. Hi Denise, and we have Hobby Angel Crafts. Hello to you too. No, you haven't missed the live. I did start a little bit late. Yes, Mary, it's lovely paper, isn't it? And yes, it's so exciting getting downloads as well. So you just knowing that you can print everything off and all that. So I've got my papers. I spent the evening yesterday after I realised which kit we're going to be working with. So I got printing straight away, and I have here all of my elements. I hand cut these. I didn't really want to get my my Cricut out or my scan and cut. I could have done. I just thought I'd hand cut them. So these are some of the elements, and as you can see, I've cut them all out at different sizes. So I just love these beautiful roses, and these roses and different sorts of roses always feature in a lot of the collections. So if you love your flowers and your roses, this is a collection for you. And then we have butterflies as well, and we have the Eiffel Tower here. So if you have been to Paris and you have photographs that you need to document, then this kit is perfect, especially if you love pinks. And here we have, these are stamps. I have a larger one here just to show you. You need to trim out the little notches here. They are there on these three here. So I'm thinking one of these is going to be my front page. And here we have, this is the same image, but I've printed it off smaller. So I do have on my channel how I print these out and then use my scan and cut. Step one is for everyone. If you don't have any gadgets or anything to cut it out, step one will be perfect for you in getting these printed out in the size that you want. And again, I'll make sure that is linked down below after the show. And do pop along to helengriffin.co.uk in the next few hours, because the blog post will be appearing there as well with all of the information too. Okay, so these are all the elements that we're going to be using today. So let's pop all of these aside. I'm making a big mess beside me here, so let's pop these up over to the side. This may go over an hour, so if you do have to go, then you can watch this on catch up. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes it's hard to gauge how long a project is actually going to take. I have done a little bit of prep work. And again, this kit currently has 25% off. Okay, so these are the papers. So these aren't all of the papers. There's so much in the kit. I've only really printed probably less than half, I would say. So we have these two here. We have the stripe. So these lovely black and pink colours. So there we go. So these are all the papers that I've printed out. I'm hoping that the lighting is okay in here because the sun is moving in and out today. It's one of those sorts of days. Okay, so we're going to be using paper bags today. So I have these. Let me just grab the pack. These are the Celebrate It bags. So a really kind subscriber sent these to me a couple of years ago, and I've hoarded them, and I'm thinking now is the time to get those out and play with them, because we don't have a Michaels in the UK, and these are pretty hard to come by. We have to kind of rely on people sending them to us, so I'm going to use these today. I'm not too sure if it's online. I don't in my stash at the moment. I always make sure I have quite a few to choose from. So this style of album that we're making today can be made with any size bag. You just have to readjust your measurements. So here I have a lunch bag, so just take the handles off. So this will give you a different shaped album. So we have the flap, this little bit in the middle here, and then we're going to turn that over. So this is just an example of how you would do it from a different sized bag, and then you turn that over, and then we have your pages like that and a pocket just there. So that's an example using a larger bag, but we're going to be sticking with these. So what we're going to be doing today is making a gatefold album. So they're going to be opening up like this, and we're going to stack the pages up and up and up. I think you get 8 in a bag. Oh no, you get 12. So we'll see how we go. So let's start folding. So I'm going to have an even amount of bags on each side. I'm going to do it that way. I'm just going to use my bone folder as well. Okay, so Hobby Angel Craft is asking, how do the printed papers hold up in the albums? Do the colours fade over time? Well, that would depend on what sort of inks you're using. If you're using the manufacturer's ink that comes, let's say I have an Epson printer and I buy Epson printer ink, and I use photo safe, archival safe paper, then that will be your longest, can't think of the word now, but it will last a very long time, is what I'm trying to say. It's archival safe if you do it all that way. If you go down the compatible ink route, you can't guarantee what how archival safe the ink is. I've had photos where I've used compatible inks, and after a year or so, you may have experienced this too, where the photo has actually faded or it's turned blue colour. That is one of the things that you're risking if you are buying compatible inks. But I do understand that buying the branded inks can get quite expensive, so I would definitely go for an eco tank. I use one from Epson. It's an eco tank, where their pricing is the opposite to the normal mainstream of printing, where the printer is the most expensive thing, and the inks, they come in bottles, and it's just runny ink, it's liquid ink. You pour it into the tank for each one, and that is very affordable. So for me, it would be around about £29 for the 4 bottles needed for my eco tank. But they do last up to 2 years, depending on how much printing that you've done. I still haven't refilled mine. I bought mine 2 years ago, and I've been printing off a lot of the Nitwit collection papers. So it's definitely worth buying the more expensive printer in order to buy the branded inks at an affordable price. So with the eco tank, they've done the opposite. So normally you'd buy a really cheap printer and the cartridges are really expensive, where the eco tanks are a little bit opposite. So the printer's more expensive and then the inks are not. It's very affordable. Got some glue there. So that would be my advice for that one. So if you can save up for an eco tank, they are absolutely great. Absolutely great. So I'm still folding these in half here. So let's see how many we've got. I'm hoping that answered your question. I do like to waffle on a little bit, but I do love my eco tank, and I can talk about that forever. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to have 4 on each side. So that's taking us to 8. So yes, I have my 8 bags now, all folded. So let's pop these aside. And I do love the celebrated bags because they are very, very well made, and as you can see, there's hardly any sort of discrepancy whatsoever there. Everything's very square. So sometimes with paper bags, things aren't so square and it's hard and things can go a bit wonky, but these are really, really good. So if you have these, definitely use them for this one. Okay, so we're going to be making a gatefold album today. So I have some things already prepared. So these are going to be our spines either side. They're going to be my 2 fronts here, and this is going to be the back, and we're going to reinforce it with a chipboard piece at the back, and this is going to be at the front as well. So I'm going to be showing you how to wrap those. If you want to go for a more traditional sort of wrapped album, I was in the middle of making a gatefold album. This will be one of my lives from a few weeks ago. I've run out of steam on this one. I need a bit of time and space to think about the next stages for this, but if you want to do a wrapped album just like this, watch the video and then you'll be able to make one for this album too. So this one's going to be Egyptian themed, and I will be finishing that one. Just need a bit of space and time to think about that one. Okay, so this is going to be the back, and if you're using the Celebrate It bags, I'm going to give you some measurements. That's okay, Hobby Angel Crafts. It does feel strange because I don't know any of your names, especially the people that have the crafty names. So this one measures 9 1/4, and that is by 5 inches. So cut that one out, and then cut yourself a piece of chipboard. I've covered this one already. This needs to measure 9 inches by 4 3/4, and all the measurements are going to be written down on my blog post as well. So I did a bit of a boo-boo here. I got the direction wrong on there, so the front one is going to be going horizontally and this one's going to be vertical at the back. I'm sure that just adds a bit more interest, I guess. Okay, so these top two here, these are going to measure 4 3/8 by 4 3/4, so you need to cut 2 of those, and then the base pieces, they are going to measure, let's start with the longest one first, 5 inches. That's going to be the height of the entire thing, and this is 4 5/8. And then we have the 2 spine pieces here. I'm still hoping my sound's okay. I'm testing out a new microphone this week, so hopefully you can still hear me. So the height is going to be 5 inches again by 1 3/4. Those are going to be our spine pieces. So let's grab the next piece of paper that we're going to be working on. I just need to move these aside here. So as I said, I've done these 2 already, so we just need to finish this one here. We're going to do the cover first. So let's grab our papers out again. I've used very high quality printable cardstock. It's super smooth. I will make sure that there will be links down later on in the description box. So we'll carry on with this theme here. Okay, so I have here, I thought I'd try some double-sided tape. This is just generic stuff, and I'm pretty impressed so far from when I did these 2 here, so I'm quite liking it. So it's quite important to have really good coverage on your adhesive side when you're doing these albums, so then none of the papers kind of lift up, if that makes sense. I'm just going to add the next one here. There we go. And there we go. So I'm just going to add a smaller one now, just to the centre. That might be a bit too small. Sorry, too big. Let's see if I have a thinner one. Is this one going to work? That still might be a bit too much. I might just leave that clear. Otherwise, if there's space, just add another one there. But these, the backing lifts off so well. That's good. You can hear me loud and clear in Australia. That's good to know. Okay. So I'm going to try and leave round about 1 inch around the top and the side. Just like that. Try not to get it wonky. Now I'm just going to grab my ruler and just cut off the excess. Just going to guess. Eyeball it. Move around. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my double-sided tape as well, and I'm going to put this on before I trim the corners off, because then I have edge to edge sticky, which is very important because you don't want any bits lifting up. So I'm just looking for my acrylic block. It has kind of a very good right angled edge here, so that's perfect for cutting the tape. This won't work on the red tape, but it will work on the paperback tape. Just go around. There we go, and I'm just going to grab my bone folder again and just press everything down really well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut off the corners, and I'm going to leave a gap there. I'll show you once I've cut it. It's around about 1/8 of an inch. I'm hoping you can see that. There's a bit of a gap there. That is there so that we can wrap our corners nicely without any of the corners being exposed. Okay, so we can get rid of those. And I have had a few people ask me before in the past why I do that and waste this edge here. I probably did add a bit too much on there, but it means I have this edge to edge here adhesive. So it's little things like that that are going to make a difference to your finished project. So what I'm going to do now is just fold everything over. Hi Karen, just looking at the comments there. I kind of sometimes forget to look at the comments, I'm just so busy crafting. Okay, so I am going to add some extra glue here as well. I like to add glue on top of everything, just to make sure it stays glued down afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the opposite end to this one, which is this one there. So let's take the backing off that, add some more glue. Okay, so before we glue this one down, we have these corners here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten them, and then you'll get a nice corner when we go around. We'll wrap this one around here, and there we have no exposed corners whatsoever. There we go. So do the same on this side, squish it down, and then fold it over. There we go. Okay, so let's move on to getting the spines done now. So I think I gave you some measurements for the spine pieces, but I'll give you them again. Here they are. They measure 1 3/4 by 5. I'm just going to grab my scoreboard out. Just got these teeny weeny little tiny ones here. Okay, what we're going to do is score at half, turn it over so that the score line's on this one, and then score half again. So these two are going to be our flaps either side, and then in the middle I'm going to fill the middle completely with score lines going every 1/8 of an inch. There we go. I'm hoping you can see that. So do exactly the same on the other one. So score at half, turn it over, score at half again, and then fill in the center every 1/8 of an inch, and that is going to give us a really lovely curved spine either side. So I can put that away now. Okay, so let's get folding. So folding the outside tabs in first. There we go. And then you kind of just use your finger for this, but just kind of curve it around, just to give it that little bit of a curve. Do the same on the other one. There we go. So now we have our 2 spine pieces. So I just need to trim into and taper the ends. So which scissors shall I use? I'll use these little ones. So just trim off those edges. There we go. I'm only working from the outside score line for that taper. There we go. Right, let's get rid of our rubbish. Okay, so let's find our back piece now. Now we can glue these on to either side. I think this is going to come together quite quickly. So I think this is going to be one of those albums that isn't going to take all day for you to do, or at least to construct anyway. Decorating is a completely whole different story. So I'm going to pop this on right up to the first score line, just so that it's visible. There we go, hoping you can see that. Apologies for the state of my hands. I've removed some nail varnish and I've been doing some gardening, and I don't know, I'm thinking a good soak in the bath should sort that out, and then I'll get my nails done again. So I just paint, I just add some polish to my nails. I've never had my nails done professionally. It's always been something I've done myself, so. I don't even wear, these aren't even false, these are actually my real nails. They grow so fast. So I am thinking of everyone that does have maintenance that they can't be getting on with during this stay at home. So I've seen the memes as well online about, you know, people with super long nails and, you know, hair with massive roots in. Oh, can you imagine the queue at the hairdressers, you know, or trying to get yourself an appointment to get that fixed, because everyone's going to be wanting appointments to get everything redone again. Okay, so anyway, I digress. So these are going to be our front covers. So make sure you don't have them the wrong way around. The height of this is 5 inches, so that's going to be pretty easy to not get that mixed up. So just add your glue here. I went over the score line there. Okay, so again, up to the score line. There we go, and then do the same on the other side. Okay, so you should have a really long thing like this. These are going to get everywhere. I need to empty my bin, I think. That's one thing I don't like doing, is emptying my craft bin. It's always just full of stuff. It gets full so quick as well. It's unbelievably how fast it gets full. Okay, so here is our bigger panel at the back. So we're going to glue that onto the back. This is going to be the outside of the album. So all of the chipboard is going to be on the outside. So let's get that glued on. A hot glue gun might be good for this too. So there's round about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around this. Thank you, Mary. She said she loves it. Okay, so that is the back done. So that's going to add a nice, good, sturdiness to this album. And then we're going to add these two at the front. So again, I'm going to work this way around, and yeah, because I did a boo-boo, I got the lines mixed up. We're going to add it on like that. Things like that don't really bother me too much. I know it might bother a lot of people, but you know, you make mistakes. It happens. And you've got some glue there. Okay, and then we're going to add the next one onto this one here. That way round. Just like that. It's coming together really nicely. It felt really sturdy with just the back cover, so I'm hoping with the front cover it'll be nice and sturdy too. I need to see if Amazon have this cosmic shimmer because Craft Stash have sold out, so I'm hoping they'll get it back very soon. Otherwise I may have to search Amazon. There we go. So this is the outside cover pretty much done, and it does feel really nice and sturdy, so that's a really easy way of doing a hard-backed album without doing the whole lot, because that can take some time. Okay, so we can now move into getting these glued in. I know I'm doing a lot of black at the moment, it's hard to see, so I'm going to get two of these down, and I want the center meeting in the middle. And an even space all the way around. My voice is going funny. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's add our glue. Now there is something to bear in mind when you're gluing these bags together in the manner that we're doing it. This section here needs to be clear of glue, no glue there. And I'll explain why as we build up everything. Okay, so I'm going round this way, around that way. There we go. And then I'm going to add this. Oh, actually, I'm going to add some glue in the middle as well. I think that's probably a good idea. Hold that in place and slide that on. Just double checking I still have a good 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. I do. I'll press that down. There we go. So we can actually turn this into a pocket as well. Okay, so let's add the next one on now. So again, I'm working on the base side of the bag, not the open side. So this is the bottom of the bag, and where it folds, that is where I'm leaving it clear of glue. So always do this line first, or otherwise you might get carried away and go all the way around. So do that line first, and then you know not to go beyond that point. And then I'm just going to add this one onto the top of that one, line it all up. There we go. So here we have our first page. This is the base where they're stuck together, and it's joined onto the pocket for that section as well. So let's do the same for this one. Again, do that line first. And I'll be able to explain in a moment why I'm leaving that clear. Okay, let's put one more on. Again, I'm putting the glue in exactly the same place every time on the base of the bag near the fold. So do that line first. And then pop that on. Okay, so here's the explanation of why we're leaving a little bit free of glue. I've got a bit of excess there. That's off this side. Be careful not to glue our flap shut or our pocket shut. Okay, so here we have these areas here that are now free of glue, and that is going to give it the expansion room as we fill the pockets as we add layers of paper, it's going to rise up, so it's going to need that expansion room there. I'm hoping that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over now and repeat this exactly the same on the other side. So that is why I leave that space there, otherwise you're going to have a crocodile book. So if you can imagine a crocodile's mouth being open all of the time and it's jam-packed full of paper, that's kind of what it's going to look like if you don't leave the expansion room. Okay, so just keep building these up. These do come together super fast, and there's no binding involved. It's literally just stacking up the paper bags as we go. Yep, I'm just making sure that both sides can close up nicely as well. Okay, this is the last bag. Do try to go right into the corners. I know I probably haven't been, but try and get the good coverage on the corners as well. Okay. Now we have all of our bags down now, and it does seem quite thin, especially when we close this and we have this space here. As you can see, there's a little bit of space when we close this album just at the top here. That is the perfect amount of space, because we still need to add our papers, and we need to add any inserts inside the pockets and embellishments as well. I wouldn't go too bulky on the embellishment. I have enough battery in this, and I also need to grab a glue stick. Let's see if I have enough battery. We'll see how it goes. Just grabbing a glue stick now and knocking everything over. Okay, so you're wondering why I'm getting that out. We're going to add a closure onto the front in a moment. So I'm just wondering if any of these would be suitable for the front cover. So I'm moving on to my elements now. So I have all of these here. This one might look nice actually. There, that would look good. Yes, I think I'm going to use that one. So let's mount this onto some black cardstock. So I'm just going to use a tape runner for this, just to be quick. And then quickly cut that out. I need to order myself a new one of these. I think the blade is getting a bit dull. I mean, I have tried self-sharpening it with foil, and I've never had a lot of success with that. And also something went boing or bing here, and now this lifts all the way up, so something's gone in that, so it now catches on that corner. So I think I might just invest in a new one. I do really like this trimmer, so I definitely want to get one exactly the same. So sometimes I do get the odd frayed edge here and there, but usually I'm okay. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half now. Yep, I'm going to cut this in half. Let's be brave. So that needs to be, my maths is rubbish, so 2 and something, nope, it's going to be round about 2 3/4. Let's just cut it through the P. we have a centre line here through the heart anyway, so we'll cut straight through there. There we go. And welcome if you're just joining us, and if you're watching on the replay, feel free to use the comment section on there. The live comment section is separate, but feel free to just, you know, join in on the other side. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so let's get this popped on now. I can use foam dots, but I'm just going to glue this on because our closure is going to go straight onto these postcards, and I'll show you the closure in a moment. And I'm going to try not to burn myself as well. So I'm just gluing these on right up to the edge there. I'll do the same on this one. My glue gun has just turned off, so I may have to go under my desk and plug in my corded glue gun. Okay, I'm just trying to get this lined up perfectly because these are going to be joined together, but these keep getting in the way. Okay, I think I'm there. Okay, that's pretty straight. Yep. Okay, let's press that down. I got that right quite fast. Okay, I'm just going to plug in my Sizzix glue gun, which means I need to move the Easter eggs out the way because I'm hiding those under my desk. Okay, so there it is. Let's get that plugged in. Oh no, all my wires are a bit jumbled up. Never mind. And I'm also going to fish out my stand as well. I have a stand here as well. There we go. I do love my cordless, but I think I probably use it too often and don't charge it. Okay, let's turn this one on. Keep that there for spare. Put the Easter eggs back. I'll be glad when Easter gets here because then I don't have to keep moving them out of the way. Okay, so here we have our front cover, and I'll just, while this heats up, I'm going to talk about this latch system here. So these are called box latch, I believe, and you can find them under that name on Amazon and also on eBay as well. So it's that sort of closure. I absolutely love that one. What we're going to do is we're going to glue it on there so it's closed, just like that. So this could be a bit tricky and I might burn myself, because this is metal and this is hot, so the metal is going to get hot. So the first thing I'm going to do is just wait for this to heat up. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. So what can we do while that heats up? We can cut up some paper, I guess. Won't take long for that to heat up. So I'm gonna just take a quick measurement. So it needs to be 4.5 high. This is with an 1/8 of an inch border by 4 1/8. 4.5 by 4 1/8. So that's going to be quite easy. So let's cut up a couple of pieces of paper. So I would like these two to be at the front and to also mirror each other as well. So let's grab this trimmer and just going to cut the end off there. So that's going to be in that orientation. So that measure, see, I've forgotten the measurements already. Where did I put my ruler? Let's measure again. I should write these down. It was 4 1/8. I'm sure you guys can remember. It's 4 1/8. And then the other measurement was 4.5. So let's do the 4.5. There we are, that's going to be like that. No, you see, I've done it wrong. I've done it wrong. Yep, I've done it wrong. Let's try again. I do this all of the time. It needs to be 4.5 tall. Is that right? No, that's 3.5. 4.5. This is why I print off extras, because I always make mistakes. Always. Let's see if this one fits. Yes, it does. Right. We can still use this. Don't worry about all those offcuts. You can still use them in your crafting. So I'm going to go for this side. So it's 4.5 tall. By 4 1/8. There we go. See, I would normally have all these cut out already, but I did run out of time today to do that. So everybody is at home. I've been sorting out our groceries this morning, getting everybody fed. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Yes, so people are asking about the where to get the collection from. This is a digital collection, so you can you buy it to download. It's not a free collection, it's something you pay for and you download, and it's yours to keep. There are licenses if you want to go down the commercial route and sell your albums. You can buy a license for that. It's not that expensive, but again, for personal use, you can print it off as many times as you want, in any size you want, and it's absolutely perfect for crafting with. So this one's going to go on the other side, just like that. Let's pop that on. Okay, on average, they Mary Fran, she's the designer behind these. She works incredibly hard to get a new collection out every 2 weeks, and on the week there isn't a collection, they have a special offer instead, and this collection that I'm using today is in that special offer. So it's already reduced in price on their website, so you don't have to add any codes or anything. It's just there for you to download. Okay, so I've got my front 2 pages on there now. Okay, so let's get this first one popped on. I'll try not to burn myself. If I yelp, I'll try not to. So I'm just going to fill this with glue, and then I'm going to pop that on there. That is hot. I'm going to use my scissors. No, I'm going to use my bone folder just to hold that in place while I lift that hinge up a little bit, because I kind of want that to be in the right place. I'm going to have a bit of manoeuvrability room to start off with, because it's not going to set straight away because it's just hit the metal. So I need to make sure that this is in the right place. There we go. I am a little bit wonky on there, but never mind. Okay, I need to slide this out now, and then I need to lift this up without burning myself. There we go. Right, next one. Okay, that's heating up. That's heating up fast. There we go. And I just need to make sure I have it in the right place. Which it's not. Let's move that over. Okay, now it's in the right place. And then we can press that down. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, so we can leave that aside to set. turn that off now. Okay, so let's cut up a few more pieces of paper, and then I'm going to start decorating a few items, and then that's pretty much how to make that album. So this one won't matter so much for the direction that it's cut in, so let's just do these at 4.5 inch, I believe. Let's see. There we go. Yay! I retained some information in my head. Okay, so that is 4 1/8 by 4.5. So I'm using UK size A4. So the length of this is 8 1/4. So when I cut this at 4 1/8, it's cut in half perfectly straight away. Okay, so that's the first one. Right, let's move on to this one here. I love these colours. So let's quickly do this one, and then I'll cut up one more. So I would definitely spend a bit of time cutting all your papers up at the same time. And I think sometimes the hardest part is choosing which papers you're going to use, because there's so much choice in this kit as well. And I will be doing a separate video on the printers and the different cardstocks that I use and papers that I use for these collections as well. So I think I'm going to stop there. Try not to knock my water over. Okay, I want to get this at a good point for decorating. Okay, so I'm going to work on, I'm thinking this page next, but I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I'm going to have to cut a larger one of those. So I like the 1/8 of an inch border, so I'm not going to have them exactly the same. You can actually stagger them so that each, as you fold through, each one is the same. I'm hoping I'm staying in camera shot here. Let's move this out of the way. I'm back working at my old my main desk area. In the winter I have to scoot round because of the sun and get the better lighting in the winter, but we're coming to spring now and the lighting is better this side of the room, so we're good. Okay, so I'm just going to use glue to add these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down this one here to 2 inches. So let's get 2 inches chopped off that. That is going to slide underneath there, and then grab my ruler again, and this one is going to be 2.5. I think, let's just double check. Yes, 2.5. So let's grab this one here, cut this one at 2.5. I'll save all of your offcuts. You never know when you're going to need them. Okay, so that's going to pop underneath this flap here. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a pocket now by adding glue. Glue is your best friend for this, not double-sided tape, because the glue is going to set and the double-sided tape is going to stay sticky. So if you're putting things inside pockets. Okay, and now I'm mimicking this paper here on this side there, so it kind of creates the flow. So let's get that. So all of these paper sizes and everything, like a cutting guide, is going to be on my website. that is at helengriffin.co.uk, and that blog post will be available in a couple of hours' time. Okay, so that is our first page done. So it's going to open like that, and it's going to open like that, and it's going to flick through. And then we also have a pocket that I've accidentally glued. A bit of glue came out the edge there. There we go. And then we have a pocket in there as well. So let's cut ourselves a pocket, and then I'm going to add some decorations to the front and the back. So we need a pocket. We need an insert round about this size, so I'm going to stick with the black paper again, the black cardstock, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 1/8 by 4 1/2. Grab one of these. Which one should we go for? We'll go for this one. And I'm going to pop that on there, so we're going to have to trim this down. I'm just going to take an eighth of an inch. No, I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off there. There you go, it just did that. I didn't get the right angle when I was pushing it down, and it kind of frays it a little bit. So I think that the new Tim's Holtz one has the black handle. I'll see if I can get hold of one anyway. Okay, so that's going to glue onto there. And then if you are using this to make as a gift, then you can add like a photo mat, or if you can get hold of let's get that straight. I do have a stamp set that has a place photo here as well. I'll just grab that. Here it is. This is the album collection stamp set, and here we have a place photo here. So I have actually used that in one of my other albums. This is the Christmas one. This is another paper bag album, and as you can see, this is pretty much full now. It's got the papers and the inserts, and here is the expansion room here where there's no glue. So that's a really good example of why we have that. Okay, so here we have these turned into pockets. I did a different technique to get the full pocket. This goes all the way to the back. So this is a slightly different technique, but this does have its own video, so you can watch that. So this is the place photo here, and I have another one there, and these also have inserts in these pockets. So this is why paper bags are just so great for making albums as well. So this is a Christmas Nitwit collection, and again on this video tutorial for this one there's going to be a list there of which collection that I used for that. And then it just folds together, and this is the lid. There we go, and that goes together. Okay, so let's pop this inside here now. And there we go. And that is going to slide in there, so you can add some more photos in there. So let's have a look at our embellishments now, because I want to add some embellishments. So here you can even pop these into just extra ephemera. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed this album so far. And again, if you're just joining us and you missed the beginning, this will be available on replay. After I've finished going live, it does disappear for a little bit while YouTube kind of check it out and does things to it, I guess, and then it becomes fully available again after it passes all of their tests and things. So yeah, that did confuse me the first time that happened. I was like, where's my video gone? I mean, I can still see it in the back end, but it just disappears from my stream, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to pop that here. I'm just going to add some glue just there, so you can add a sentiment onto there, or a butterfly. That kind of disappears a little bit. Maybe I should have gone for a black. Oh, that looks nice. And we have, this one's probably too big for this album, but anyway, I like to have offcuts because then I can just pop that into my little bag of extra embellishments and things. There's so much here to choose from. These are probably a bit too big as well, but these are a better size. But these are the sizes that I chose to print them out at, so you're not stuck to, you know, an individual size. That looks quite nice as well. So I might just leave that there. Oh, here we are. Yes. Okay, I like that. So all this needs now is a little saying or a sentiment on there, which I won't be adding until I have my photos in anyway. There we go. These would make really lovely wedding papers as well. I'm loving how that looks. So let's close up and pop that in. So that's come together quite well. So as you can see, it's already starting to bulk out on this side as well. So there's the back of the album. So let's pop something there. Yes, I like that. So there's other things as well we can add. We've got the Eiffel Tower here. We even have these as well. I'll probably trim that out and mat it. Again, this is the smaller version. I do have a bigger one printed out just to show you. Where is it? Here it is. So these are very high quality, high res images. So if you wanted to, if you had a large format printer, which I do have downstairs, I can print this out in A3, and especially, and even at that size, the quality is still there. It doesn't disappear. So here we have one of these. That's quite nice too, actually. I might just have that and have a strip of card or paper, patterned paper, going behind it. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab this paper here. There we go. This is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have to grab my big paper trimmer out now. Running out of space. I'm sure we all have this problem. There we go. Right, so let's get this cut. So I only want a small strip, something like that. So that's why it's good just to print out a whole bunch of different pattern papers so that you have something to choose from. Okay, put everything back now. Okay. Right, so I am gonna go over that, over the pink, so it goes to right to the edge of the black. So I'm gonna get that glued on. Okay, I've definitely gone over that, but we can just trim that off. So gone right to the edge there. And there we go. So if you're really not sure where to pop things, just audition them and see how it looks. And you know, if it doesn't, you know, feel right to you, don't settle for it. You know, wait for the right thing or choice to come along. And I'm going to pop that on the back. So you can also use some foam pads as well. I'm just going to use glue. I don't really want too many edges where things can get caught, especially on the back of the album. I'm going to have some dimensional things on the front. Let's make sure I have that. The album's upside down. Actually, no, that looks alright, actually. Yeah, we'll keep it that way. We'll keep it that way. There we go, so there is the back. You can carry on adding bits and bobs. Yeah, that's a bit too big for that one. We have the Eiffel Tower. Did we have a dark Eiffel Tower? Yes, got a dark one there. You can even add another label. I did have some more labels. Here we go. You can add there, add a little saying to that. So much here to choose from. This is only a few of the embellishments as well. Okay, so let's start working on the front. I want to build something up here. So I'm thinking these flowers are going to be just way too big. So we can move over to the smaller ones. put the butterfly here. I might add the butterfly. See, this is where you may want to go back to printing a few more things out. Now that you've got to this stage, you might think, oh, I remember this little butterfly or this little flower in this certain size. I'm just going to print that off as well. And again, on my channel there is like a printing tutorial on how I print everything out, just in case you've never done that before and you're wondering how I do that. So I don't really want to have too much fuss here. So I like to cluster, but I don't want to cover up too many things. So maybe just a butterfly. Yeah, maybe just a butterfly. We'll go for the darker one. So we can fold this up like that and then pop that there. And there we go. And let's have a look, see what else we have. We've got a nice flower there. And then I might just have that here and I can add a title later. So we have the Eiffel Tower there, Le Tour Eiffel. I'm thinking I'm going to have to print off some more things, so I have a bit of a larger choice, and this butterfly here would be perfect if it was a fraction smaller, so I can print off a smaller one of those. So that is the beauty of actually having a digital kit. You can say, oh, I need it in this size. I mean, if you bought a pack of ephemera, you're stuck with what you've got basically, and you can't make it smaller, you know, and once you've used it, you've run out of that one. So this one would look really nice half the size of this butterfly, so I'm going to add a half the size butterfly onto that section, and I think that will be my my front cover pretty much done. I might even make an even smaller one just to pop it at the top, because then we have the element of 3 there, and that's a really good visual way of decorating things. So I'm going to stop right now because I want to print off some more things and then carry on adding to the album with some smaller elements now that I actually have the album in front of me. So when you print off all of your stuff to start off with, it's really hard to visualize your project as a whole. I mean, you can imagine it in your head, but I've now got to the point where I would like to add some extra bits. So I'm just going to add some foam pads onto there, and then that will be it for today's video. So again, this video will be available on catch up or replay on my channel, and it will disappear for a little while after I finish going live, while YouTube does its rendering and checks and things like that, and then it will reappear, and then by then I will have all of the links for everything I've discussed today at the bottom. The link for this kit as well, if you pop along to nitwitcollections.com, that is their website, and that is where you can find all of this. This kit is called Ooh La La, and it currently has 25% off at the moment. So now is definitely the time. If you're new to this and you want to try it, I would definitely take them up on that offer. Okay, so I'm going to quickly read through some of your comments, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to carry on crafting actually, because I do have quite a lot of work to be getting on with. So I have a new collection to design, and I've started that already, and yeah, I've got a magazine commission to finish as well. So, but I can't share or show you any of that stuff because it's top secret still. So it's going to be a couple of months yet before I'm able to actually share any of that with you. So I've really enjoyed today, so I'm going to read some of your comments. And again, you can watch this on the replay as well. So Leslie's saying it's 2:35 in the afternoon here in the UK. Yes, that was 2 minutes ago for me. So yes, I'm in the UK as well. Thank you, Lucy. She's saying it's lovely. And yes, Leslie's saying she has downloaded Nitwit's collection, but not sure how to use them. So Leslie, which parts are you not sure how to use them? Is it unzipping? Because they do come zipped up. There are tutorials on YouTube on how to unzip zipped files, or are you just not too sure how to use them in a digital manner, as in digital scrapbooking? I know that was a very big thing a few years ago. I have found some software it's a free software online tool that you can actually do scrapbooking, digital scrapbooking, using these elements as well. So that is something that I will be doing too. So you can make a digital scrapbook layout and print it out, or have it printed into one of those photo books. Or do you just have trouble in wondering how you're going to print everything out in different sizes? If that's the case, I do have a video on my channel explaining. It's called the scan and cut one, but the first stage everyone can do. The second stage is how to cut it. I use my scan and cut, but you can just cut them out with scissors. And I will be doing how to use it on your Cricut as well. I know Nitwit Collections did have something very recently on their channel, on their Facebook, that they shared. It's an old video on how to use the Cricut, the print, I think it's called print and cuts feature. But I do know that the Cricut software has been updated since that video, so I'm going to make another version of that. I do have a Cricut, and I also have a Cricut Maker as well as the Explore, so I'm not too sure which machine I'm going to be using. Probably the Cricut Maker, because I haven't tried it on that one yet. So so Christine, what do you mean about brads and faux nail heads? Oh, I see what you mean about this bit here. I don't think this came with screws, but I was going to glue it on anyway. Yeah, I'd have to try and find some false screws there. If I use brads, the split pins on the other end would stick out, but I can find something to cover those holes up. So those holes being on show don't really bother me that much, so I just want it for the function really. So okay, so Leslie's saying not too sure how to make them smaller. Okay, so I think in my tutorial, I'll make sure it will be linked. It's not linked at the moment, but it will be linked. It'll take you straight to the tutorial on how to add your images onto a Word document and to resize them that way. And there's another way you can do it using your printer software. So you highlight all of the images that you want, you right click and then press print when that box comes up, and then you have all of these options. Because you've highlighted like 5 things to print, you then have all these extra options to you know, print out different sizes basically on the images. So you can have 2 to 1 sheet, 9 to 1 sheet, 6 to 1 sheet, and then like an index print. So there's loads of different ways that you can get different sizes. Some of it's more technical than others, and then there are other places like canva.com where you can just create yourself a canvas, add your images, and you can change different sizes on there and then save it and then print it out. So that is another thing that I'll be doing a video on as well. So I'm hoping that answered your question, Leslie, anyway. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to go now. I'm sorry, I was gonna say sorry it was short and sweet, but I've been filming for an hour and 20 minutes. That's gonna be one of my longest videos. On Saturday I did an hour and a half. I think it was 1 hour 33 minutes. That was quite long. So yeah, so I'm going to take some photos of this. I'm going to get all the dimensions. There's going to be a cutting guide on my website. That's helengriffin.co.uk, and that will be available in the next few hours. But I will be sharing everything on from today on social media, so make sure you'll follow me somewhere on Facebook, especially there. I like to post on Facebook quite a lot. It's just the easiest place for me to do that. So thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone turning up. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not too bored or running out of things to do if you're stuck at home. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining, and I'm going to be going off now. So I will see you again in one of my next live videos. I'm hoping to get one up by the weekend, and I'll make sure that you have enough notice for that one as well. So thank you everyone, and I will see you all again next time.